Hello and welcome to another Game Nexus main review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Ninja Warriors released in 1988 by Taito. Now basically what it says is the story of this game is it's like a dystopian future where the President of the United States in 1993 issues a ruling of martial law, with the military having total control over the law. Basically a group of anarchist scientists revolt against the government, knowing full well that approaching the military themselves could be considered a suicide mission, so they make two androids that are actually in the form of a ninja and a female ninja. And they try to stop the president's tyranny with these ninja robots. And the main character you see here is the female character. You'll notice the long hair, kind of like Zero from Mega Man. And when I first played this game, I was thinking to myself, this has to be the most racist game ever, because all the bad guys were black guys. But I noticed, oh, okay, now there's white guys shooting guns. But I guess in a way, you really didn't think about that back in 1993. That like the key infantry that are just thrown at you in like endless waves are black guys. So, in a way, you could probably say this is racist, but then again, you'd probably be just like the people who said Resident Evil 5 was racist because you're fighting black people in Africa. And I mean, it's not like you'd go to Africa and actually find black people. It'd be like getting mad that you're fighting Japanese people in Japan. It's just how it is. But the only thing I gotta say about these guys is they're pretty generic. They just more or less throw themselves at you and die very easily. Now, when I first faced this weird robot thing, I was like, what is this thing? It's just so weird. It's kind of like a hunchback of some sort that has claws and it jumps. So far, like at this point in the game, it was the only real enemy that had any kind of challenge. Now, of course, the biggest thing about the Ninja Warriors that needs to be addressed is the screen layout. You're probably thinking to yourself, what's with this weird cinematic aspect ratio here? Well, it's a very strange cabinet that they made for Darius and Darius 2, which actually employed a screen in the center and then mirrors on the side. The other two screens were down in the cabinet and were reflected on the mirrors, giving you this cinematic thing, which was like 3 continuous screens. And those were the only 3 games that actually used this: the Ninja Warriors, Darius, and Darius 2. Which is kind of sad, considering, honestly, it does create a bit of a cinematic scope, but I personally have to say that, I don't really think it uses the real estate properly. Like, there could be all kinds of stuff. The only thing this really does for you is, tells you that, there's, like, guys who are gonna come and get you. And I know it actually takes me quite a while in this gameplay to do it, but if your enemies hit you enough, your skin comes off and you can actually see the robot parts. And oh, there it is, actually, right there. The one bomb hit me in the head, and then the whole head came off, and you see the robot head. And one thing that kind of struck me, like, there are 3 versions of this game. The Japanese version, the US version, which I'm playing right now, and the world version. And at first when I played this, my ninja, the only thing that actually came off was the legs, so you just saw these robotic legs. And then when I played the Japanese version, I was thinking, I noticed the chest came off, and there's this metal chest with these golden boobs, and I was thinking to myself, oh, that must only be in the Japanese version. But sure enough, all versions, the android decays the same way, and no version really has all that much of a huge difference. Now, I know animal activists must be screaming right now that you're killing dogs, but they're evil attack dogs that the government's trying to stop the ninja robot with, so it's not, well, I guess it is bad if you're really, like, into ninjas, I mean, into dogs and stuff, but, and that's what happens when you die. The whole body kind of just explodes. And actually, when I had first played the USA version of this, I was thinking, oh, the ninja's a robot. it must be a thing of the American version, but sure enough, as I said, it's all versions where the ninja's actually a robot. Now, this game only had 2 console ports, and they were only in Japan. In 1989, there was the PC Engine, which of course here is known as the TurboGrafx 16. And in 1993, there was the Sega Mega CD, which of course here in the USA is known as the Sega CD. There was a bunch of computers that received ports of this as well. All these happened in 1989, a year after the game came out in arcades. You had your Sinclair ZX Spectrum, your Commodore C64, your Amstrad CPC, Commodore Amiga, and your Atari ST. They all came out the same year. So I guess that they wanted to make sure that everybody who had a computer was able to play this game. Although, I've never played any of those versions, but I doubt they did the same screen thing, since I know today it's kind of commonplace to be able to hook multiple monitors to a computer, but back then, not really so much. And the first time I actually faced that ninja at the end of the level, she was actually so hard, but you just gotta make sure you're not getting hit by her sword a lot, and the shurikens are kind of worthless when you're facing her. Now this is the second level, and there's more dogs here. And one thing you'll notice, I don't know if you'll see it right away, but those generic dudes from the previous level, they now can do a jump kick, so it makes them a little bit more effective, because they mix it up a little bit more. Let's see, eventually I'll see one of them. Yeah, there you go, you saw he did the jump kick, so it just makes them a little bit harder. My only big complaint about this game is after a while it kind of feels routine, but now that weird like rotating jump that I just did, it's like you jump and then you hit the attack button, your character doesn't attack, but your character flips. And now I could not figure where the hell all those explosions were coming from. And then of course I saw this stupid tank. Now, this tank, in my opinion, is just their way to get a lot of quarters out of you. Because, honestly, no matter how good you are at this game, this tank is really hard. Because that dude just keeps shooting the missiles, I mean the machine gun, and it's like unrelentless with how much it's gonna shoot you. And the only way to really kill it is get on the tank and constantly use your daggers to attack it. Because I don't think the shurikens really do anything. Now this game actually has a 2-button layout. One button does your daggers, one button does your shurikens. And it has a Mortal Kombat style of like jumping and stuff where it up jumps, down ducks. So they kind of kept it simple with this one. I didn't notice we're getting some more of those generic dudes, but some of them had a different color because they were stronger and they had more moves. Even though the other ones can do that jump kick, the ones with the different color outfits are a bit stronger. And just in case it was important to anybody, this game was licensed by RomStar for the US distribution. Usually that's what ends up happening when any of these games get licensed out of Japan, is a third-party company will end up licensing the game. And if you want to know, the video resolution of the complete monitor layout is 864 by 224, which, since it's 3 monitors, that's why the resolution is so awfully weird. This game, of course, runs on 268,000 processors and a Z80 for the sound, which runs at 4 megahertz. I just find it so funny reading some of these system specs, because you think to yourself, 4 megahertz, how could that really ever do anything anymore? And there was 4 sound chips to go along with that ran at 8 megahertz each. So that's why the music sounds so nice in this game, because the sound hardware was really over the top when you think about it. And I definitely have to say, one thing about this game is that the backgrounds are really nice looking. They're just good backgrounds for 1988. And what's crazy is there's some people who actually played this and the Darius games on MAME, and they actually set up triple monitor setups where they put all 3 monitors next to each other to create kind of like a faux version of how the arcade game looks, which ended up looking kind of nice. But the problem with any kind of your consumer monitors is that the bezel always gets in the way, so you'll have like maybe a ½ an inch of bezel between each screen. So I guess if you could remove the bezel and put it in one big case, it kind of would be a nice thing. But then again, it's kind of limited usage since you're only really using it for 3 games in MAME. And since I was so busy with these Hunchback guys, I didn't even notice the those 2 mortar explosions that happened right then. And I find it kind of weird that these weird robot Hunchbacks, when they die, they're just kind of like, ah, like a guy. You'd think they would be like some sort of like robot dying or something. Even though technically robots really don't die, they just get broken. More kamikaze dogs. And honestly, I can honestly tell you, I don't feel bad about killing animals in a video game because it's a video game. There's no real animals getting hurt. They're just generic dog sprites. No one's actually killing anybody. Sure, you could say it's like cruelty to animals, but what animals? There's no animals dying. And I find it kind of cool that the English version actually has blood that comes out of the people, because a lot of times, like, I believe it was Metal Slug, they colored the blood white, and of course the Mortal Kombat, where the blood was colored white on Super Nintendo and they said it was sweat. Those have to be some of the worst things of censorship. Now, I could imagine this game probably would be a lot more fun with 2 players, but I don't have another player to play with to play this game. But yeah, Ninja Warriors is definitely a great arcade game. And here comes another one of those cheap tanks. This is your final boss in lieu of another ninja to fight. And this one feels just as cheap as the other one, but I think I ended up doing a little bit better with this one since I kind of was prepared from the first one. So I kind of knew that you had to attack the top of the tank, and I realized that throwing shurikens at it would absolutely do nothing for the stupid tank. And I thought it'd be cool if you could just like kill the guy in the top and now it would like win the battle for you, but I guess that would just be too easy. My head got blown off there again. Yeah, sadly you end up dying a couple times to these tanks. It's really annoying. But yeah, Ninja Warriors is definitely a great arcade game. If you have a friend to play with, it's going to be a little bit better. It can get a bit repetitive because there's like a limit of moves that you can do, but if you're looking for a good ninja game with an interesting aspect ratio, then Ninja Warriors is definitely your game. Well, this has been another Game Nexus MAME review, and I shall see you later.